the confrontation between Yoda and Darth Sidious in the Senate chamber, and the confrontation between Obi-Wan Kenobi and the newly deemed Dark Lord of the Sith Darth Vader on Mustafar. Two of the most important lightsaber duels in all of Star Wars lore, resulting in the very fate of the galaxy itself. A brother turned against a brother, and an avatar of the light and an avatar of the darkness, purest in their form, confronting one another for the final time, with the fate of the Jedi, the Sith, and the Republic at hand. After the clones turned on the Jedi and Order 66 was initiated, it was clear that the surviving Jedi must move fast, and in a desperate effort to stop the Sith as soon as they had begun, Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi both decided that they must split their power in order to destroy the two Sith Lords as deemed by the rule of two. The former Jedi and Padawan of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and the avatar of the dark side, Darth Sidious. Obi-Wan went to face down Anakin Skywalker on Mustafar because of his familiarity with the young Chosen One, his familiarity with his chosen lightsaber form, and the very mental state of Anakin Skywalker, not to mention that Yoda believed had Obi-Wan went to confront Darth Sidious, he would stand absolutely no chance against the Dark Lord. The Dark Lord that had resided under Yoda's thumb for so long, and he had no idea that he was ever even there. Therefore, Yoda had his own score to settle with Darth Sidious, believing that the power of the light would soon eclipse the dark, but knowing that the power of Obi-Wan Kenobi would be no match for the one Dark Lord in Sidious. Therefore, he believed that Obi-Wan stood the best chance in confronting Anakin Skywalker, believing rightfully so that Obi-Wan would be able to overcome the power of the newly born Lord Vader. But what would happen if this had switched? Specifically though, what would happen if Yoda was the one that ventured to Mustafar to confront Lord Vader? What would happen if it was Yoda that confronted Darth Vader on the planet, and it was the Grand Master that attempted to put an end to the dark side Chosen One? Well, luckily for us, we don't have to speculate on this outcome, and we have a direct conversation between Darth Sidious and Darth Vader directly, where Darth Sidious reveals who ultimately would have won this duel on Mustafar between a newly born Anakin Vader and the Grand Master of the Jedi Order in Yoda. First though, we have to establish some context as to exactly how this conversation came to pass. During the early days of the Empire, Darth Sidious was highly concerned with the status of Darth Vader mentally. He was now severely crippled following his defeat at the hands of his former master, Obi-Wan Kenobi. He had been severely burned and had now lost all of his remaining limbs. But this is not what concerned Darth Sidious, as he believed pain fueled the dark side of the Force inherently. Instead, it was Vader's own mental state and his self-pitying nature that infuriated Sidious. And while at first he played into it, believing that the hatred that Vader held for the Jedi would make him more powerful, it soon became old, and Vader's strength was stifled by the death of Anakin and his defeat at Obi-Wan Kenobi. Vader claimed that he had nothing else to live for, which infuriated Darth Sidious. Darth Sidious believed that he granted Darth Vader this great and immeasurable gift of controlling the entire galaxy. Vader was only a Sith for a few mere days, which was a plan that was established thousands of years before that Vader was now reaping the rewards from, and all Vader could do was self-pity himself. Although Vader was severely damaged, Darth Sidious promised him that he would still be one of the most powerful beings in the entire galaxy, and that now the Sith had won. Still though, the defeat at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi, an individual who Darth Vader believed as Anakin he was far more powerful than, even from the rank of a young Jedi Padawan, weighed heavy on the mind of the newly deemed Sith. After several weeks of this, Darth Sidious called Darth Vader to his chambers directly, to which Vader again addressed his diminished power, and Darth Sidious spoke true and strong, striking Darth Vader to his very core, in a statement that would haunt him forever. In this moment, despite Darth Sidious wanting Vader to become as powerful as he could be, he had to speak the truth. All Darth Sidious did was look at Vader and say, "Be grateful that it was not Yoda that found you on Mustafar." So what exactly does this statement mean? Well, it means a few things, and two very specific things. One, it means that in Darth Sidious's mind, after Darth Vader's defeat at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi, he was sure that it would have been Yoda that would have reigned triumphant against Anakin on Mustafar, which is something that I'm sure many of you will also agree with, as Yoda is the pure avatar of the light side of the Force, and Anakin Skywalker is still new in his abilities to possess and control the darkness. So it makes sense that Yoda would have ultimately triumphed over Vader, and even Sidious believes so, believing simply because of the pure power in the light side and 900 years of experience, Yoda would indeed have defeated Anakin on the volcanic world. But more than this speaks to Yoda and the idea that Yoda would not have let Anakin Skywalker burn and live on the banks of Mustafar. Instead, it is revealed that Yoda would have absolutely killed Anakin, unlike Obi-Wan Kenobi. Unlike Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda realized the true threat of the Sith in Vader, and he lacked that personal connection that Obi-Wan and Anakin had with one another. Therefore, Palpatine believed inherently that Yoda directly would have killed Anakin. Just as Darth Sidious sensed in his duel with Yoda that Yoda was indeed attempting to kill him with every strike. Yoda was doing what was best for the greater Republic and the galaxy. And in a lot of ways, Yoda put his place as a Jedi above his own inherent personal feelings, even sometimes against his own moral code. And this is something that Darth Sidious believed he would implement against Anakin. Darth Sidious believed that had Yoda confronted Anakin on Mustafar, that Yoda would have struck Anakin down. He would not have hesitated, and in a sense, Darth Vader was lucky that it was Obi-Wan. Darth Vader was lucky that Obi-Wan Kenobi was the Jedi that confronted him on Mustafar, and the Jedi that let him live. Not only did Palpatine believe that Yoda would have defeated Anakin, but he believed that the reign of Vader would have ended there and then. This is a crushing blow on behalf of Darth Vader, but something that he needed to hear. As following this, Darth Vader promised that he would become more powerful than Yoda and Obi-Wan. Despite his shortcomings and despite his injuries, he would work, embrace the pain, embrace the darkness, and prove that he would never lose to a Jedi ever again. It is this single moment of truth that Yoda would in fact have bested Darth Vader that causes Darth Vader to change his ways and become so naturally powerful in the dark side, and such an indomitable force as a Sith Lord that Jedi will tremble before him for the next 2 decades. But anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this and Palpatine's own explanation, as well as Palpatine's own thoughts that Darth Vader as Anakin would have been defeated by Yoda, and even more so, that Yoda would not have hesitated and would have killed Anakin following their bout? But now, I turn it over to you. Do you agree with Darth Sidious? Do you believe that Sidious would in fact have killed Darth Vader following their confrontation? And do you believe that Anakin was lucky in the fact that it was Obi-Wan that went to confront him and not the Grand Master? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and I hope that you have a great day.